G'day and welcome back to the Pillars of Ranternity. This time round, we are heading to Russetwood. Why Russetwood? Because we picked up a bounty for there and there was some other reason. Ah yes, the Devil of Karok, this lovely golem rogue lady, would like us to go there. So, that sounds like fun to me. Let's do this thing. Alright, so Russetwood it is. 8 hours, so that'll mean our construction project should finish, I think? Yes, it should. So, let's see. We're getting near the end of the stronghold build-out, which is good. I mean, I don't know how long... no, was I wrong? It must... If so, then it'll finish when we head back. Construction... I really wish... 3 hours. Okay. Yeah. So we'll see if it finishes while we're exploring here.
That was way too much Blackson.
Okay, so the annoying thing here is I've explored this area before. I have no idea where they're going to be. We could go... Woodcutter's Grove. Okay. So here is Hamke. It's him. Hamke. I remember that weak chin and those knobbly knees. Karok stops, staring motionless at the figures among the trees. You'd best get a handle on her, Ranneko. His eyes fly... Aloth's eyes fly wide in alarm.
How goes?
The elven man emerges into the clearing and freezes, staring at the Devil of Karok. For an elf, he's tall and rangy with a weather-beaten face beneath stringy, greasy hair. The others with him turn, glaring and gasping at the bronze golem.
Rock Shadow, what's that wicked thing doing here?
Why? Hump swallows and a lump bobbing in his neck. Why are you so nervous?
It's a killer! Look, we don't want no trouble. Just trying to do our work.
Beads of sweat have formed on his forehead despite the chilly air.
We'd be much obliged if you'd leave us be. And take that thing with you.
He looks at the devil with a mixture of terror and loathing. So this is a guy that, at least according to the devil, burned her house down with her family in it. So that seems, you know, worth investigating. Enough! What do you see, Ranneko? Is this the man who tortured us? The devil sways on her feet, her whole body moving around the axes of her ankles. Though she's talking to you, her attention, a concentrated spear of essence, is focused on Hamke. Hamke, do you remember the village of
Everyone
Kolmon?
does. Let the raid Sarans into the Deerwood. What's that got to do with anything?
What are you dallying for? See what's written on the bastard soul! The devil's essence boils and froths. Read his soul. He steps away from you, but your awareness reaches through his trembling skin and the feeble resistance of his fear. You see memories, snow-shrouded forests partitioned by fallen pines and firs, days measured by the steady swing of your axe. There are other moments too, recollections that flare up like a heart's welcoming fire. There are children, spry and lanky like you, but still full of the rowdy energy of youth. Together you scatter winterbloom petals on a grave. You reach deeper into Hamke's soul. Years roll back. A torch in your left hand bathes your face and shoulder in heat. All around you are other men and women holding other torches, and the mountain air is acrid with the stench of smoke and sweat. Rage billows off the others. It's been a fever in your blood for days now, exhausting you and invigorating you in equal measure. You're at the edge of that town. Cold morn. It's hours yet before dawn, but the commotion has started to awaken the village. Candlelight ignites behind frost-crusted windows, and haunted faces peer out at you through the glass. You begin to doubt yourself. Just then, a door slams. A villager comes racing through the streets, kicking up snow. With his stark white face and pale hair, he looks almost like a ghost. The line of torchbearers ripples as he gets closer. He picks up speed, but nobody moves towards him. You imagine him breaking through the rows, shattering your ranks like the bad dream that brought you all here. You imagine waking up in your bed, the heat from your torch, nothing more than the warmth of your wife sleeping next to you. Instead, the villager reaches the row of torchbearers a stone's throw away from you. A woman advances from the line and buries her dagger in his neck. The rest of your fellows shout. Rage, memory, and bloodthirsty triumph boil up in you. You all came with a purpose. You came to see justice to the to bring justice to the traitors of Cold Morn. The next few hours are painted in colors more vivid than life. You put your torch to anything that stands and your sword to anyone who runs. It is as if Magrin herself whispers in your ear and guides your hand. Exhaustion has almost cooled your rage when you spy a house at the edge of town, one of the few buildings that hasn't already burned. It's flanked by knotty spruce trees, and the door is painted yellow. Yellow, the bloom of sunrise, the hue of your son's hair, the colour of cowardice. Just then, someone barrels into you from behind. It's a man, someone you remember from the journey to Coldmorn, though you can't remember his name. He snarls at you, mad with indiscriminate rage. It occurs to you that he's mistaken you for one of the villagers. You smash the window and hurl your torch inside. The other man has turned away. You think you hear a child's shriek within the house, but it's impossible to tell above the roar of the riot. Humke shivers as you pull away from his memory. His eyes are wide with guilt and fear. Spit it out, Ranneko. What did you see? Her feet are rooted in the snow, but her limbs jerk and jangle. So we can go, he burned down her house, he's not responsible, or it's not that simple. And the answer would be, it's not that simple. So let's do that. Don't give me that greasy hot shit. You looked into the squalid dregs of his soul. Tell me what you saw. She steps towards you, strangely clumsy. Heat patterns streak and flare across her body. The snow melts around her feet. He burned down her house, yes. I would not... I mean, it's between the two. But, I mean, ultimately, yes, he is responsible for going along with it. But if it hadn't been him, it would have been someone else. Well, I'm going to go with honesty, even though this will mean murdering a bunch of people. He burned down your house. She stares at Humke. You hear only a whirring mechanism in her throat, but Humke leans closer.
What did you say?
His mouth quivers. What did it feel like? The torch in your hand, the blade you carried, what did they feel like? A wild, inhuman scream echoes out of the bizarre machinery of her throat. It drops Humke and her companions to their knees, where they cry in terror, Geel squeal and crank as she rushes at him. Okay, so let's see what you can do. So you can make yourself harder to hit, make yourself harder to have things impact you. You can also do these things, which requires wounds. I think when he takes damage, he gains wound. So we'll do that, and then we'll follow it with stunning blow on this guy. I am going to blind this guy. Adir, can you yank this guy? Karok, you're going to blind this guy. Durance, you're going to stun everyone. And Aloth, you are going to zap him.
Yes.
Okay. So, that's Adir there. Yep. Okay. So now, Durance, buddy. Can you shoot someone? Maybe him. Deal with him quickly. So where are you right now? Really? You didn't run up? Oh, probably because you need to do one or the other. Okay. Aloth. Do this. And do it again. Do you want to actually move and attack someone? Really? You're doing that, are you? Okay. And this. Okay, so you seem to attack nice and quick. Let's have you stab Humke, and you go for them, and you go for them. Okay, well. Sure, hope no one, needed to cut any wood anytime soon. Okay, there we go. We got ourselves a bunch of cash. That's about it. Let's level her up. Actually, no, let's talk to her. Because I guess that's what we want to do right now.
Almost 15 years I've been looking for him.
She stares ahead as you approach, the ink-black marbles of her eyes fixed on some distant point. Her essence swells and swirls in the throes of contemplation.
All that fretting and wondering. And the deed's over in less time than it takes to tell.
How do you feel now? She says nothing at first. You hear only the dull clicking of something stuck in her
I
chest.
killed a lot of folk in my time. Felt their blood slick in my hands. Smelled their flesh as it burned.
She holds her hands in front of herself as they twitch and spasm.
And I always used to imagine what it would be like to have Harmka under my knife. Feeling his breath come hot and fast. Smelling the fear ooze out of him.
Say
Couldn't
nothing.
feel a thing. His fading pulse weren't no more than a powder of rain to me.
She shrugs, letting her arms clatter to her sides. Trust me, he's definitely dead.
I know. But I wanted to feel it, you understand?
She reaches towards you with sudden, desperate intensity.
This body, it weren't made for feeling. Gouging my fingers into Harmka's wasting flesh, his screams just buzzing in my skull.
She flexes and unflexes her fingers in a few lightning-quick
All
motions.
it did was remind me
Of what?
that this is a madman's fever dream. Like a prison, but no, 'cause in a prison, you lay your head down and you feel the straw soft beneath you. Your flesh prickling in the cold, black bread crumbling on your tongue.
She turns her arms in front of her, examining the scrollwork on the backs of her hands with horror and wonder. After 13 years, you can't get used to it?
I still dream on folk. I wake up some mornings wondering why I can't feel the floor beneath me, thinking I must have fallen and gone crippled. But then I lift my head, see a bronze corpse stretching out in front of me.
She lowers her head. The tremor runs through her. I see. At least you're alive, though. That's something, right?
I dreamed, too, of what Galvino did that night. Those moments. I'd endure another cold morn if it'd spare me this fate.
She rubs her hands together, tracing her even joints with her fingertips. What happened exactly?
It was after I got caught in Stalwart. They'd locked me in a little house by the inn, the old mayor and his cronies.
Her head dips as she remembers.
When a crowd of them came for me in the dark of night, I was only surprised it had taken them so long.
She hesitates.
Only they didn't march me to no gallows. No. They snuck me to another house on the edge of town, real sneaky-like. That's where I met Galvino.
She raises her head, her black eyes shining. What was he doing there?
He was fiddling with some machinery in his workshop. Had his sleeves rolled up even though it was cold enough to see your breath. Never actually looked at me until he started fitting some copper helmet over my head. By that time, the mayor's goons had me trussed up good and tight. Galvino was having himself a grand time barking orders at that lot.
I think I see where this is going.
So while Galvino's fastening that helmet over my head and them copper bands around my arms, I'm starting to look at his contraption. And that's when I see it.
Her black eyes are fixed on some indefinable point. Her essence dims.
It's this metal suit strapped into the machine, just like me. A cold, dead-eyed thing, all done up with fancy carvings and such.
Did you know what they intended?
I had this terrible cold feeling in my gut, but I still couldn't figure.
She shakes her head.
I start asking Galvino and the rest of them what's going on, but they're too busy to answer. Then suddenly, they're waiting, staring at me with that fixed, horrified look. But they ain't watching me. They're watching for something to happen.
Her eyes flicker, rolling and scraping behind her face.
Galvino tells the woman nearest the machine to flip the handle. And then, just pain. Being torn apart every which way, feeling my soul peeled from my body.
Her limbs twitch and shudder. She pauses, waiting for her body to fall still.
By the time I came to, I couldn't feel a thing. Just this dull, distant sort of ache.
I heard the old man cackling and chattering when I saw him looming over me, looking down at me with hungry eyes. I tried to scream, tried to swing at him.
I think that was when I knew.
She shakes her head and falls silent. How could anyone put another person through something so terrible?
I reckon I'm the wrong person for that sort of question. But if it cools your conscience, Galvino didn't get off easy. The rest of Stalwart didn't take kindly to having a killer in their midst, nor to seeing their mayor and the army Valians strike a secret deal. They drove Galvino out, destroyed a fortune in machinery, and wrote a letter to the Academy in Salona, ruining what was left of his name. Still, he's lucky he didn't get a pelting. The old mare fled too, and Stalwart's been as snug and cheery as ever.
Why, now we've dealt with Hamke, why have you sticking around?
Better company than Galvino.
She says it in an offhand teasing fashion, but she looks away from you, fidgeting with a rivet.
Been a while since I were out in the world. Guess I'm keen on seeing more of it. Even if I'm stuck with a bleeding heart. Anyways, I've been wondering about that fortress.
You're acting unusually coy. She's quiet, fixated on her squeaking joints.
Near everyone thinks it'll have just the thing they need.
She ticks off a list on her clicking fingers.
Those villagers wanted to fix up their brook downtown. Galvino always thought it carried some great secret of Animanson. And all them adventurers came looking for fancy gear.
They're all fools. An abandoned fortress won't solve anyone's problems. Her words die in her throat with a sound like a creaking door.
You're right. Let's go.
Oh, that was a harsh shutdown. Okay, let's see. So there's also meant to be, well, something that a bounty I'm gonna have to deal with. But where would that be? I guess maybe the hunter's camp? I'll just double check there's nothing by the landslide at this point. Nope. And I don't think I've got anything I can do with that shrine. Okay, now let's head down to the camp then. The camp and the crater are like two places that it looks like there's something that should be there, but I haven't seen anything, so that's kind of what I'm going for here. You are just saying that I got money, which is nice. Oh yeah, I need to level people up. So you've got a bunch of survival, a little bit of athletics. Let's give you a little bit more athletics and then leave the rest of the points for the next level. And mortification of the soul. It gives him the ability to immediately get wounds. Okay, that could indeed be quite useful. Kind of tempted to get this, which allows him to flank. You know what? I'm going to go with it. Let's do that. Okay. And the Devil of Karok. She's got... I can boost her stealth. In fact, that's what I'm going to do, because hopefully she'll be able to then steal things that I otherwise can't. This will allow her to break... Yes, I think that's really helpful, actually. When she gets in over her head, I can make her break out of the fight. I want to take her into the fortress. I'm not entirely sure if it would be better to take other people in there. Who knows? I'm sure there are other companions. Nope, nothing there. Okay, the crater was the other idea I had. Otherwise, I have absolutely no idea, and it's kind of annoying to be like, okay. In fact, it should be... Is there a bounty? Because I picked up a bounty. Maybe it's in tasks. Yes. So, habit of... Yeah. Russet Woods. That's it. That's all we got, is Russet Wood. That's annoying. Like, couldn't we have had at least some idea of where it might be in Russet Wood? Because this is a hunter's camp, and they're hunters. So the other one would be the abandoned camp, or to head back up to the pond, or the wolf cave, or something, somewhere here. Alright, what I'm going to do is, in fact, I'm going to quick save, and I'm going to walk as quickly as possible across the map. And if I fight, then... I run into a fight, then I know that I just need to reload. And head straight there, wherever it is. So there, I remember fighting a bunch of things over here. I did go into those caverns, but I don't think they'll be there. What about up here? What about in the wolf cave? I fought something in the wolf cave, but I think that's already sorted. This may be a complete fool's errand. But it seems really strange to have gotten a quest specifically to kill some things in this area and then to have them just not appear on the map, like, feels very much like I should see them. And so one thing to remember is that White March was released as two separate expansions, kind of. There was part 1 and part 2, right? And we're currently in part 1. So I suspect what will happen is at the end of part 1...
First, your neighbors hound you because you say the wrong prayers at supper time.
If it wasn't that, it'd be something else.
Would,
Just their way of letting you know they care.
Then some cross-eyed lord gets to stringing up your neighbors.
A couple of them were ones that had been hounding me, so that worked out at least.
Okay, I hadn't actually been here enough to cross it off the map. If I don't find them in the next very short while, I guess I just leave. Yep, just leave. Screw it. No point in wasting time on this. Okay, so I've done the stuff in Starwood. I'm not going to go back to Longwatch. We'll go to Durgan's Battery. We'll actually make some progress on the main quest. So, but what I was saying is I'm pretty sure that the end of part 1 will be we take Durgan's Battery. And then I think we may want to go away and then come back and like see the initial impact of having Durgan's Battery back. I'm not entirely sure. This is currently a working theory. Okay, so we've done that. We've had our building complete. So let's build something else. A library. Do we care? Merchant stalls. Let's grab ourselves a merchant stall. Okay, so we have been here. Ah, interesting. So depending on where you come from, you enter this map from a different location. That's actually pretty cool. I had not noticed that. Okay, so let's go up here. Also, I have Zahwa wanting to talk to me. So I guess we'll go and do that in a moment. But let's get inside the house first. Get out of the cold into a nice warm house. Because we did do a quest for him. And I want that delicious XP. Pretty sure XP must be tasty. I don't know. I remember, I was watching a series recently and someone posted the question, what does it feel like to be out of mana? And I mean, technically speaking, the characters in this game do not use mana. I don't know why I started sneaking, actually. I will save though, just in case. Because this is a Vancian magic system, so you got per day abilities. And although there's definitely a bit of fourth ed snuck in there with per encounter abilities too.
The devil has not scorched you yet, eh? Perfetto.
I have some news about Grinda.
Yes? Does the sniveling cur hide in his home? Or has he been exiled to a place even more frigid and foul?
He claps his hands together in excitement. I learned he murdered his sister.
Tiverus! The man is even more of a wretch than I thought.
His face glows with macabre delight.
What of him now? Surely the villagers string him up with his own fishing line.
He's leaving town with his tail tucked between his legs.
Perfetto! Oh, I only wish I could have seen it.
His broad smile exposes rows of yellowing teeth.
I will open a good wine tonight. As for you, take this.
Delicious XP, as I said. Although, why are you telling me stuff? Oh, there is a new quest. The colourful clothing of the Spiranton weaver Bonicetta is known throughout the Eastern Reach. Over a year ago, she was on a trip to Defiance Bay when her ship sank in a violent storm just off Pearl Coast. Miraculously, many of the passengers survived. Bonicetta's body was never found, and she was presumed to have died. However, a Valian merchant in Defiance Bay recently recognized some of Bonicetta's unmistakable work in an otherwise unremarkable shipment of textiles. He spoke with some others and learned that several shipments to merchants bore the same telltale patterns. Now many merchants believe that Bonicetta is being held captive somewhere and is trying to communicate through her work. Whatever the message is, none have been able to decipher it, nor where it's coming from. So we need to assign it to someone. So, I think actually Kana, being a bardic sort, would be a really good choice for this. Although the Grieving Mother also could work because she's got the ability to... She's a bit more sneaky. I'm going to go with her, actually. Not that it's actually going to... I don't actually think the hero assigned matters with these. Also, I can just take stuff from here. It's not stealing. What do you think you're doing? It's not marked as stealing. Should I not take these? Okay. I'm going to save. Hey, get out of there. See if he does anything. Nope. So I can just take these. Yes, I can. That's what I'm seeing. There's no response to me looting your place beyond him actually saying it. And Adir Customs, whatever. Oh yeah, other things that I've done since being through here the first time.
Yeah.
Leveled. No, still can't disarm the
Just say
trap.
word.
Curses. I wonder if it's just that once you have failed at disarming a trap, you can never disarm that trap. If so, that's annoying. Alrighty, so with this, do we talk to Zahwa?
As promised.
Yay! Look at that. Level up for Aloth from that trap. He learned a lot from looking at that trap, I guess. Even more lore for Aloth. Lore for him. Okay. He can learn a new level 5 spell. Form of a helpless beast will allow us to change the form of an enemy, or torrent of flame. Oh right, so now we can also see, like, these are all of the spells that he has not already learnt. So we could give him Lengra's Safeguard, which would help him live a little longer. Oh, it's automatically... So you can cast it and then you've got a contingency for that fight, I guess. Interesting. I'm going to get Form of a Helpless Beast though, because Baleful Polymorph is kind of fun. Arcane Veil will make him even more veily when he uses it. Or what else? We could get ourselves an extra 4th level spell cast. Yes, we will. Because what I need to do, I mean, that's great. Hopefully it will encourage me to actually use his spell casting. Because that's my biggest flaw with using these characters. I'm really bad at remembering to use one or per day abilities. Not remembering so much as being willing to do it. I guess is a better way of putting it. In that I know they're there, but it's a rainy day problem. Right? Condensed into something that you can do a number of times. What if the next encounter is more challenging than this one? But frankly, I mean, there's enough incidental damage that once you're past a few encounters for the day, you're not going to do fewer encounters. You're not going to do more encounters, you're just going to rest. So what I'm going to do now is, I know that there's at least one giant up here, so we're going to fight that giant. Ah, hello, Lagerfaith. Instead, we're going to fight these Lagerfaith, who I hate. But I've got a really simple way of dealing with them now. So you, blind.
Just say...
And as soon as combat counts as having been initiated, I can make us immune to stun, and then everything will be fine, basically. Because these guys now focus on doing the stupidest thing possible.
What is it?
You can stop that. You guys can continue. Okay, Aloth. Can you do this? And then... Oh wait, actually no. We start with this. And then we do this. And then we do it again. And you can attack him, yep, which you're already doing. Durance, you can do this. Actually, and everyone else is kind of doing something, at least. Okay, and debilitating this one. Oh wow, did that thing mostly kill its friends? Because if so, that's real really funny to me. Okay. So she's got that. Coordinated positioning on Adir. Adir, attack this. You knock this guy over. You guys, are you attacking anyone? Yes, this. And then attack that. You're continuing to attack there. And in fact, you know what? Let's go and kill this thing. And let's murder this one more time. Okay, great. And then we'll all kill this. Ooh. You know what? How about you swap with him?
That's not very helpful.
He can attack here, and she's got no ranged attack. That's something I should fix. But I think this should have at least broken aggro. There we go. Okay, I could have sworn there was a giant around here, but that fight seems pretty good anyway. So we'll leave it here for this episode. Until next time, have a great day. Bye. Thanks for watching. I really appreciate you spending the time and effort watching the videos I make. If you'd like to watch more, on the left there should be another video from this playlist. On the right there will be whatever YouTube recommends, and in the center there is a convenient subscribe button just in case you need it.